Eddy Burback video? Oh, wait, I'll watch that. Wait, this is the one about quitting phone, right? Wait, I'm interested. I hate my phone, so I got rid of it. Oh, no, it's too fucking long. It's an excellent video. All right, we'll try. We're starting.
A few weeks ago, I was scrolling through Twitter, an app that I hate, wasting my time, when I came across this post. FaZe Sway's GF, Alina Rose, gifted one of the guys her used panties during the Bop House 5v1 stream with Vex Bolts. Now, I only recognize, I think, one word from that sentence, and it's the word panties, and it made me realize something. I hate my phone. I am constantly using my phone to see things that I don't want to see. Over the last few years, it has become increasingly unfun to use this thing. So why do I keep using it? Apps and social media have gotten much better at drawing me in, but lately I'll break out of my screen time feeling like nothing of value happened. I feel like a lab rat incentivized by cheese, but instead of delicious cheese, I'm being fed dorky ass clips of Elon Musk. It's embarrassing.
Elon Musk saying, let's legalize comedy is fire. That's why a phone should exist. When he says, I am become meme, you want me to not have that in my fucking lexicon? Deep in my brainstem? No, I need that. I need to watch at least 14 to 15 Jeff Teague NBA podcast TikTok shorts every morning with my Cheerios. That's what I have to fucking have, okay?
Embarrassing. Not embarrassed? Next time you get sucked into your phone, tell the next person you see everything you were up to for a full hour of screen time. Okay, so my friend sent me this Instagram reel of a screenshot of a tweet about Drake playing Fortnite with Ninja in 2018. And then I just sort of kept scrolling through reels for an hour, but I don't remember any of them. Like a lot of people my age, my smartphone has attached itself to nearly every aspect of my daily life. And it's really starting to make me feel like it's having a negative effect on me. But most people like me that daydream about getting rid of their phone just can't. Their job requires it. They have kids. They have to keep up with their Balatro addiction.
True.
But I don't have a real job. I don't have kids. I deleted Balatro because I played it on the toilet too much.
Damn, are you guys phone Balatroers? I couldn't imagine being a phone Balatroer. No fucking way, dude. No, I'm main screen PC Balatro. Okay? I have an NVIDIA fucking 5090 cooking to make sure I get the Balatro experience that I deserve. You're gonna fucking play that on your phone? You can't even see shit. It's the perfect phone game? No. The perfect phone game was Fruit Ninja. They peaked at the beginning. It's been all downhill ever since. That was a game that required you to swipe on a phone. That was a game that understood the different mechanics of the phone versus everything else. Now we're just porting things that are better on PC or the Switch and putting it on a phone cramped. He was too embarrassed to say TFT. TFT is actually Satan's phone game because all it does is waste my time and you can't win if you're playing on the phone because it's fucking hard and laggy and you can't get the fucking item off the carousel. So you just lose and you're mad, okay? TFT is actually a terrible phone game.
Much. And then it hit me. I could be a lab rat, but in an experiment about getting rid of my phone. In 2025, what does it look like for someone in their late 20s living in a major city to completely get rid of their cell phone? Well, I'm going to find that out because over the next month, I will be locking my phone in this safe and I will not be opening it. So, without further ado, let's find out together.
What if he instantly died? That would be a pretty bad sign. That would like actually maybe flip the argument on phone addiction. People who are pro phone would have a lot of weight in their corner. If he instantly died and then 46 minutes of him laying on the floor.
I actually didn't do any prep for what I'm going to replace my phone with. Okay, actually, we need to do this tomorrow. So. Now it's beeping. Now, obviously, a phone these days is a lot
already
more
out.
than just a phone. But everyone in this day and age needs a telephone. Many people who ditch their smartphone these days go with an old flip phone, now referred to as a dumb phone. But I got a flip phone to keep in contact with my parents when I was out riding bikes at 12 years old. So for the majority of my life, I've had a device in my pocket that makes me reachable at all times. I want to experience what life was like before the cell phone. So I went even older and began looking into getting a landline. Luckily,
God.
this was pretty simple.
Oh,
Some major phone companies, for some reason, still offer a landline service. But what landline should I choose? There were so many decades and styles to choose from. I could go wireless. I could go with an old rotary. I could keep it to the classics, like Sleeping Goofy,
Don't get a
M&M's
rotary.
Hanging Out, or Pooh. After weighing all of my options, I finally decided on a mix of everything. A corded landline that still had an answering machine and caller ID. Oh, a landline with an answering machine is not old school enough for you? That's too much new tech? Well, my ass got a Rolodex to pair with it. Now, if you're somebody whose knees still don't hurt, a Rolodex is basically your contact app, but on this fun little spinny wheel. So I spent an hour of my day just sitting down and copying my contacts from my iPhone onto different Rolodex cards to make sure that I had the number of everyone
No,
I
that's
needed
not
to call
fire.
over the
That's
next
so
month.
stupid. You can put it in an Excel document on your laptop.
But I don't want to just call everyone. I want everyone to call me. I want to be popular. Whoa, whoa. So I posted my landline number on my close friend's Instagram story to inform people in my life that I wouldn't have my phone. But not everyone in my life is on my close friend's Instagram. Some don't have Instagram at all, and some are finding out just now that they're not on my close friends list. So I began texting people in my life the information as well. Other than a telephone, I use my phone as a tool for many
He's using more technology to set up his non-technology month than I would normally use.
many aspects of my life. I began replacing as much as I could think of with alternatives. I filled out a physical calendar. I got notebooks and pens to replace my notepad app. Grabbed a film camera to take photos with. Every morning, I set an alarm, so I replaced it with an old-fashioned alarm clock.
Okay. That's so annoying. Does he work at the factory?
Oh, man, that's gonna piss me off. Why didn't I get a digital alarm clock? I'm getting rid of my phone, not becoming Ebenezer Scrooge. Also, just in case of any major text that I may miss, I hooked up my iMessage to an old laptop Chrissy had, but being able to check texts all the time felt like cheating. So
Yeah.
I bought this chess clock and decided I would only be able to clock in 5 total minutes checking text the entire month. Wait, this thing takes C batteries? Okay, I'm not gonna use the laptop until I can get some C batteries then. There was so much to replace, but there's one I chose not to. I use my Apple Watch daily for fitness statistics. But honestly, I don't really need it to exercise. I just have to find the willpower to hit my goals without closing these colorful rings. When I got the watch, it felt like a super useful upgrade to my life, but I quickly realized that my phone was now on my wrist at all times.
Yeah, of
Sometimes
course.
even sending ads for Yelp or Postmates to my own arm. So I don't know how much I'll miss this thing. Except for
Okay.
Snoopy. I will miss you, Snoopy. I'm sorry I'm putting you in a box. Lastly, I replaced the iPhone's video camera with a Sony camcorder. Looking at all the items that would replace my phone sprawled out on the floor, I decided I was prepared enough to begin.
Okay. Lock it up.
It was mid-afternoon by the time I started, so I decided to check if I had any calls or messages on my landline. I had posted and sent the number to almost everyone I know, so I was sure there was a ton of missed calls and voicemails to listen to.
Wednesday, 1:04 p.m.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom. I'm just calling to see if your phone works. You don't have to call me back. I'll talk to
Sweet.
you later. Bye.
End of messages.
Within a few minutes, I came across the first minor hurdle of not having a smartphone on me. After checking my email on my computer, I saw that there was a package down in my mailroom. Now usually, to unlock the mailroom lockers, I open an email on my phone and scan a barcode. But luckily, they also provide a numeric code to put into a keypad. So I grabbed a notepad and I wrote the code down. We're not talking about the Notepad app here.
I get it.
I mean, I put a pen to paper, like a soldier in World War II, sending a letter home to his girlfriend, who has now taken his spot on a Major League Baseball team.
It's not that crazy.
I think that's what it was like. Honestly, the only war movie I've seen is A League of Their Own. Hello, Eddie from the future here. This is absolutely the last thing that I'm editing, and I have not seen this footage until now. So on the first day, I walked out of the apartment, Chrissy changed the code to the safe, wrote it down, left for her apartment, and I asked her to hide it in a place I'd never check. And apparently she put it in a case of Black Ops 2.
Holy shit.
But under a disc of Jingle All the Way 2. I don't even know where she got this movie. I don't even know why she has Black Ops. For over a decade.
If that's at my place, that's coming out instantly. Okay, not only do I want to pull out Black Ops and check on it, but I'm going to want to watch Jingle All the Way too the second I see that DVD. Okay, you can't hide it there.
My iPhone has been an extension of my body, an extra limb that connects me to the world of the internet. So the first few hours with that limb severed had me feeling its phantom in my pocket. I decided to start keeping a tally in a notepad every time I felt compelled to reach for or check it. And within those first few hours, I realized something. I was bored. Truly bored. It was rainy in LA. I had finished working for the day and didn't have everything ever made and everyone I've ever known at my disposal.
Crazy. Because you can definitely still play a game. You can get on your fucking laptop. Are you playing laptops? If you're on your laptop, it's basically a big phone nowadays. You can watch TV. You can watch sports. The boring part, I mean, I understand that people are sitting on the couch and double scrolling phone while the TV's on to truly prevent their brain from having a thought. I understand that. I understand this is a real thing and it happens and people are doing it. So people are doing it right now. Okay? But I also know that like the real time that the phone is hijacking my attention or that I am unable to be bored is like any of the in-between spaces. Anytime I'm traveling from place to place, if you're on the fucking plane or a bus or you're in an Uber or you're fucking on the toilet or you're on that's when they have total domination. I think at home people are still laptoping or fucking TVing or gaming or
proposal to fill the void. It hit me that the other times where my phone has died or moments where I've intentionally put it away, my phone has not allowed me a true sense of boredom for the majority of my adult life. And the rest of the first day was really nice. I enjoyed the silence. We ended the night watching the movie Flow, which I absolutely loved, highly recommend. And while I never check my phone during a movie, not getting a vibration or needing to put it on Do Not Disturb felt great. And since I can use my computer, I decided to still log it on Letterboxd. But when I walked away from it for bed, that was it. No more internet for the night. Why did I put it so high up? The next day was an adjustment getting used to the silence, but I was already seeing benefits. Turns out it's easier to get up out of bed and go to the grocery store when you don't.
This is fucking true. This is straight up true. It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear, but it's fucking true. It's easier to fall asleep and it's easier to wake up. It's so deeply true. Everyone knows it, but most people don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it because it's too painful. The idea that you should not have your phone in your bed at night when you're going to bed, and then there when you wake up, it's too painful.
Don't waste your first 30 minutes scrolling through Twitter. Or if you're experiencing one of your lowest lows, Reddit. Ooh, shivers down my spine just thinking about it. Oh, by the way, last night, Chrissy and I had pasta, sausage, and Trader Joe's cheesy, creamy greens and veggies.
I can't fall asleep without YouTube, though. That's what Ari will say about, like, she'll play, like, Slay the Spire on her phone, or she'll fucking... The truth is, you just have trained your brain not to. You absolutely can, dude. You're not the one person biologically who can't fall asleep without YouTube. You've just trained your brain to have YouTube. And by the way, you're still falling asleep later and with worse quality sleep.
So if anyone wants these leftovers, they are 1 month old at the time of posting, and I will not give you my address. So let me know if you're interested. I also got the C batteries for the chest clock, so now I have a working chest clock and 8 C batteries that will sit in my drawer forever. Later that week, a few friends and I had planned to see Mickey 17. Last week, I offered to organize getting the tickets myself, forgetting that my phone would be locked in a box. Normally, as an AMC A-list member, I reserve the ticket on the app, show up, present my QR code to the greeter to be scanned, and suddenly I'm in. Now obviously I know that a cell phone is not the only way you can get into a movie theater. I worked at an AMC when I was 19. If you were at the AMC Streets of Woodfield in 2016, there's a solid chance your ticket stub was ripped by me. But I wasn't sure what the process was anymore. Part of my job used to be selling tickets, but due to online and mobile sales, that job seems to have been phased out after quarantine. So I went to the AMC website, saved my ticket QR code, and sent an email of it to Staples so I could print it with a code at one of their printers. I then wrote down the Staples code along with my ticket confirmation as a backup. Is this overkill?
So
Probably. But if for some reason I couldn't prove my purchase...
You have a computer. You could just email it to one of the many friends that are going. This is... No, this is...
I'd be ruining the whole night for my friends. So I headed over to Staples, and after inputting the code from my notepad...
I don't have a printer either. I mean, I would need to... There
Look
we go.
at him.
That's awesome.
My beautiful boy. My pride and joy.
I mean,
Yes,
that is
if your
good
job
for the
was scanning
video.
QR codes, would you trust one sitting on a blank page like this? During our drinks before, I was beaming with excitement to use my QR. Look at how proud I am of it, but I had no idea what was waiting for me in the theater. Now, fortunately for me, and unfortunately for labor everywhere, the AMC ticket sales employees have been replaced by kiosks. So I headed there to scan my QR code instead of the greeter because I got nervous.
Did you guys see?
Disaster 1. I froze the machine.
Broke it? I was confused. I clicked the keypad and I think I broke it, so I think I'll have to...
Luckily, there was an open machine next to me,
Okay.
so I made a quick recovery only for Disaster 2. My QR code was printed so inconveniently that it wouldn't fit in the scanner. I desperately folded the paper as my friends waited on me for their tickets. And it just wouldn't scan.
Hello?
Just cut to home. Yeah, we missed the movie.
Come on.
My
Clutch it
baby
up.
boy was a disappointment. But you could just use the credit card you bought the tickets with. So I didn't need to do any of this. Didn't need a phone and could have just shown up with my credit card. Okay, so there are minor inconveniences like writing things down or bringing my credit card. But I wanted to know what it was like to traverse a city without my phone. But
Okay.
first, a quick word from the sponsor of this
No.
video. I'm stuck in a fly trap. I fell for the damn light bulb again. I want to thank SoFi for sponsoring the next portion of this video. I've talked about
Check it out, SoFi. You could get a loan.
fast tracking
Or
retirement. Yeah, they're giving away money that you could use for this
consolidate
list of
loans.
things. Or whatever you want. It would be your money if you want. I do not care. Sign up for SoFi Plus to be entered for a chance to win,
Like the
and for every
stadium.
friend you refer, you earn an additional entry. Head to SoFi.com/Eddy, scan the QR code
I
up.
mean, I will say, I would agree that directions are the number one thing you need a phone for. Obviously, there's many, many things, and we're all addicted to our phones, but like the most annoying thing to lose would be directions. Because it's like so incredibly convenient to have a geolocated device with a 3D digital map in your pocket of wherever you are, wherever you need to go that can route at all times. I mean, Google Maps is one of the greatest inventions in human history. It's incredible. With live traffic data, it's incredible. They
Help
need
me.
to get these.
I need to do this myself. This morning I woke up to a massive dropping of bird shit on my bathroom window, which is gross. But hey, without the phone, it's something new to look at while I'm on the toilet, I guess. It's no secret why someone in this day and age may begin to resent their phone. But one of my main motivators to give this a try may surprise you. A few months ago, Chrissy and I binged through all of Sex and the City. We watched through every season, movie, and even the new series on HBO. I mean HBO Max. Max. Fuck, sorry. Now, other than having a blast with the girls and being a big hater to my core, there was one aspect of the show that I just couldn't shake.
Well, laugh. It's a joke.
No, not that. Sorry.
Get it while it's hot.
Not that either. Man, I gotta text my editor. But I don't have a cell phone. And my editor's me, so he doesn't have a cell phone
He
either.
edits his own
Gonna be tough.
videos?
The show
That's
starts with
impressive.
Carrie in her early 30s. But even though I'm a young 28, not even fucking close to 30, the era of life that Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte are in is pretty similar to mine. The one glaring difference, other than being in LA instead of New York, is their lifestyles without smartphones and social media impacting it. Of course, this isn't a staple of the show, but the times the show belonged to. The new series has to adapt to our new world just like we do. Carrie is a podcaster. She tweets. Everyone uses their smartphones. But even though I was always aware that times had changed, it didn't feel so drastic until I watched the original show. No dating apps, no creating a second version of yourself online for the world to perceive. On a night in, Carrie writes, Miranda watches TV, Charlotte reads either the Old Testament or the New Testament, depending on what season you watch, and Samantha gets laid. They don't pull out a little computer that shows them what everyone they've ever met is up to at that exact moment. Charlotte doesn't do the dishes with her AirPods in, catching up on the Twitter drama between the richest man in the world and Hassan Piker. Samantha doesn't watch the Costco guys on Fortnite Friday.
Well, they're
If it's
missing out
something that
then.
we really like a lot, that's 5 big
They're
balloons.
missing out.
Something we're not that crazy about, it could go down to 1 and then anywhere in between.
What?
Of course.
And they also call each other for plans. They don't use a GPS. They agree on a time to meet somewhere, and then they just hope
Yeah, this is
that
the
it all
craziest
works
thing to
out.
me.
And that's what struck me most of all. It was the intentionality in making plans and navigating a
Where was I just at? I was just somewhere with Ari and a group. Why am I blanking? Ren Fair. I was at the Ren Fair. And fucking boomer moment. Holy shit, dementia. I was at the Ren Fair, and despite it not being Ren Fair appropriate, we had to use our phones to find each other at the same Ren Fair multiple times. Because people wander off to go look at things or get a turkey leg or whatever, and you don't know where the fuck they are. How did anyone do this before? How did anyone keep track of a group? There's so many people there. That was crazy. Time and place.
city. If you're older
All right,
watching this, feel free to roll your eyes, because this was what the world was like until very recently. But because I'm such a young, fresh 28-year-old, I have never in my life made adult plans without the convenience of a smartphone. If I want to drive or Uber somewhere, I don't really need to know where to go because the GPS will handle it. If I want to take public transit, my phone will give me live details on what to do. If I'm running late, I can text and update the person. I have Google at my fingertips to answer any question that I could ever think of. So what do I actually do when I make plans? I might as well get to a dinner and have the waiter cut my spaghetti for me. There was just something about the way that the girls went through life that just felt more grown up to me. I couldn't help but wonder, has my phone kept me from becoming a fully capable adult? Ready for my Carrie night out, I needed to call one of the girls. Looking to have fun cocktails and a yap sesh, I knew just who to call. My friend Jordan. I planned on taking the bus because even though I could Uber there from my desktop, I'd need to cheat and ask Jordan to call my Uber home on the way back. But to take the bus, my two options were change, as in coins, which I do not have because I'm not an 1800s prospector ordering a whiskey at a saloon, or the public transit app on my phone. Oh, my phone! Shit! I don't know if you guys know this, but I locked my phone away. After a quick search, I saw that you can get a physical tap card in LA at most pharmacies and grocery stores. So I walked over to CVS and couldn't find a tap card anywhere. I asked the manager if they sold tap cards, and he said, "We should, but I'm not sure that we do." After confirming that they didn't, he was so helpful and told me you could get them at the train station. I thanked him and said I needed it for the bus. And he goes, "Oh, you could just get the app on your phone." My dumb ass goes, "Right, thank you. I'm doing this thing where I don't have my phone, but thank you." What the fuck was that supposed to mean to him? Anyway, I went over to Ralph's and yet again, no card. Until I asked an employee and she walked me over to their work desk, busted out a dusty fanny pack from a bottom drawer and got me a card. The whole process seemed like there hadn't been a physical tap card purchase in years. This whole ordeal gave me just enough time to get ready and call Jordan to let him know what time to meet. Awesome. All right, well then, hopefully nothing goes wrong. If it gets to be too late, just give up on me, I'll go home. Okay, that's true. You're the perfect person for me to fuck this up with. All right, I'll see you there. Next, I headed over to my computer, went to Google Maps, clicked on the transit direction to get to the bar, and wrote down the specific bus routes I'd need to get there. My bus was leaving very soon, so I had to rush out the door. Now, depending on where you are, who you are, and what age you are, I am not recommending that you also travel alone without your phone at night. Smartphones have offered a lot of safety to people who are by themselves, so just know that I wanted to do this, and unfortunately, it's a bit safer for me than for some of you. Look, it's no surprise from my personality, my writing, and my general vibe that I am an overthinker. So on my way to the bus, anxious thoughts were flying by. What if I miss my stop? What if the bus doesn't come on time? What if I get lost and leave Jordan waiting? What if the bus explodes?
Could happen.
And normally, I can quell these thoughts by getting confirmation on my phone. But shockingly, without the option to confirm, I was forced to face
It's just funny because the bus is probably the single greatest spot for a phone in human history. There's no better time to have a phone. There's never when the phone is more appropriate. If we could just isolate phones to the bus, it would be a good thing. Bring a book? Sure, you could bring a book, but there's nothing wrong with having a phone on the bus, bro.
these thoughts head on. And you know what? It was super fucking easy to ride the bus without my phone. They say the goddamn street names out loud. Why was I worried?
Thanks, man. Thanks. Have a good one.
I got off the first bus, crossed the street to the next stop, and waited for the second. No checking Twitter, just raw dog, no headphones at the bus stop. Hopping on the next, I rode the bus toward drinks. At one point, I wanted to make sure I was headed in the right direction, so I asked a stranger, and he was super nice and helpful. And before he got off the bus, he nodded and fist bumped me. Not quite as good as nervously Googling and having Gemini tell me the wrong fucking answer, but I'll take it. And as I became a tiny little
You
speck...
said wrong answer? This is not the wrong answer. This is the correct answer. Okay?
Having Gemini tell me the wrong fucking answer, but I'll take it. And as I became a tiny little speck in the rear view of the Echo Park Pico Union line, I turned to walk toward drinks. I finally made it there, and lo and behold, agreeing to meet at a place without 5 text updates still works just fine. Jordan and I had a great time, yapping our hearts out. 2 young philosophers in a heated debate, going toe-to-toe in the marketplace of ideas. I, of course, was on the right side of whatever we talked about, and Jordan was in the wrong. But his British accent kept giving his words an authority that made me insecure and angry. Also, we did need to use Jordan's phone to get my bus route back, because I did forget to look it up. Is someone telling me a bus route with their phone cheating? I didn't use my phone, but I sort of used someone else's? I don't know. A few hours and 1 too many cocktails later, Jordan walked me to my bus stop like a true gentleman. It came earlier than expected, and without my knowledge, Jordan captured my dorky ass scurrying to the door. On the ride home, it was really starting to hit me just how normal most aspects of my life felt without a phone. Sure, it was a bit inconvenient, sometimes a little bit dangerous. But is the harm that screen time and algorithms inflict on my brain really worth the convenience it brings? Well, I'll be honest, I've had 1 too many cocktails to find an answer to that. I also was on Metro TV. You guys ever watch Metro TV? It's a show about you taking the bus. You see me there? Look closer. There I am. Every time I've mentioned to a friend that I was getting rid of my phone, one of the first things they'd say would be, "Oh, are you gonna start reading?" First, yeah. Second, I was reading. Okay, not books, maybe. Does it count as reading if I read a tweet from Discussing Film that told
it
me
does.
young Sheldon is returning to do a sweepstakes competition for the live-action
Yes,
Minecraft movie?
It does.
Mazes, puzzles,
It
panic
also
attack.
counts if you read your chat and you're a streamer. That counts as reading. And if you are in chat and you read your own message saying Poggies, Lamau, Glizzy, 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 that's also reading. Your literacy rate is improving.
You're in charge. Whooping monster butt. That's my purview.
Plus $500 daily cash prizes.
Whoa. Oh my.
Watch Young Sheldon weeknights for the word of the day. Text it to 55225 or dig into youngsheldon.com.
Biggie.
A
Why don't we
Minecraft
show the
movie
whole
in
thing?
theaters April 4th.
I used to read quite a bit,
Chicken
but as my
jockey!
phone addiction has developed, most of the time when I could pick up a book, light a candle, and relax in a chair, I instead choose to burn disturbing world news into my retinas while I sit hunched over my table, or hunched over on my toilet, or hunched over on a bench. But after days of phone detox, I wanted to see how well my attention span fared toward uninterrupted reading. About a year ago, I was at a bookstore with my friend Ian when he mentioned he had recently read the novel Flowers for Algernon. I bought it that day, planning to read it so we could discuss and have a connection over it. And then, it sat collecting dust next to my Wii U for 11 months. Didn't get all the dust, maybe one more blow. Damn, that shit is baked on there. So I lit a candle, got cozy, and began reading. And you know what? It was way easier to focus. I got sucked into the book, and before I broke any concentration, I'd read over 100 pages. Now I had plans that night, so I needed to rush out of the house, but I didn't have a damn bookmark.
It's a sad book.
Oh, perfect. Finally a use for my QR. Later that night, I came back and read another 100 pages. Now, of course, people read a lot with their phones all the time. But for me, that vibration of a text or social media notification or an ad from Uber Eats or Postmates feels like somebody knocking at my window, trying to distract me and get me to stop reading. Over the next 10 days, I started to go about my everyday life pretty naturally without any major issues. I could go for walks by myself or with my brother and give 100% of my attention. I did my chores in my free time without my AirPods.
I've never used a bookmark consistently. What I do is I look at the page number and I try to think of some way of remembering it. So if it's like 263, I'll be like 263, 260 me. I'll think of some stupid rhyme. I'll just think of something stupid and then I'll close the book. And then when I open it again, I'll try to think of my fun little phrase. And almost certainly I never do. Almost certainly I don't remember it. And I have to fucking find my way around. But that's happened to me for many, many years.
Sometimes in silence or with a vinyl, maybe a podcast on my PS5 on occasion, but I didn't crave it. I was working on a video for the other channel I run with my brother, and I found myself procrastinating less, enjoying work more. Everything just started to feel normal. It's not like I shut out all of the internet either. I still followed the news and checked social media on occasion, but it didn't follow me in my pocket when I stepped away. The swirling mass in the back of my brain that the internet seems to occupy had completely severed, and I didn't miss it. I was embarrassed at the thought of how often in the past I would check my phone, especially when I wasn't really waiting on anything. Times where I felt anxious in public, when I wanted to fill the silence, and the worst of all, involuntarily checking. I was becoming a normie, and I liked it. I read books more. I sat in silence. I enjoyed the eclipse and didn't text it to anyone. I spent an hour on a rainy night just watching the rain fall, enjoying the sounds of drops hitting the pavement. I mean, what the hell? What's wrong with me? The next morning, I thought, surely the rain washed away the bird shit, right? Huh, guess not. Okay, well, maybe it'll go away on its own.
I mean, there's nothing more normie than checking your phone. Everyone does it.
Or maybe it'll go away.
Navigating
the world without the help of a cell phone made it seem smaller, less intimidating. I found myself asking strangers for help a little more and was less anxious when they spoke to me. There was only one time where I checked my texts on the MacBook, and after that I decided I didn't even need it. Man, I bought those C batteries for nothing. After just a half of a month without my iPhone, I started to have the thought, uh-oh, I don't know if I want this thing back in my life anymore. And moving into the next week, I continued to feel the same way. I didn't want the experiment to end after 30 days and was looking for some advice when I realized I knew just who to ask. I wasn't the only person who had tried out different lifestyles for a video. So I decided I would try to get some answers from an expert.
Zach from the Try Guys. Hey, hold this. Zach, I have a question.
Eddie?
Yeah.
Eddie?
Have you ever tried something for a video that you liked so much that you wanted to keep trying it after the video was done?
What are you doing in my house?
Just answer the question, man.
Pottery was cool.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, lock the door.
About halfway through the month, I had mostly adapted to life without the phone, but I wondered how other people would adapt to me. I had sort of assumed when it came to others, the landline would be a fun novelty. People would give me a call or two within the first week, and then just wait for me to get my phone back so we could go back to normal.
Does anyone here still leave phone messages? I don't think I let the phone message in forever. If they don't answer the phone, I just hang up. I've never answering machined because you can just text. I've never seen the purpose of a phone message.
But to my surprise, that hasn't been the case at all.
Hi, Eddie. It's Mom.
Hey, Eddie. It's Jarvis. What a wonderful voicemail you got there. It's time to walk. Call me back.
Eddie, we're on our way. You better get ready. We're on our way.
Yay. You sit down.
Woo. All right, bye.
Hey, Eddie. How you doing? Big dog. Hey, this is Zach. Mr. Burback. Need to reach you. I hope it's going well. I hope you haven't gotten lost because of lack of Google Maps. Hey, Eddie. This is your friend Ash.
Yes, I'm sorry. I was given this number for. If I have an incorrect number, please let me know.
Happy Thursday. Talk to you soon. We were trying to reach you to do that dinner that we talked about.
A big part of why I kept my phone clutched to my chest for years was because I felt like I needed to be on call for people I know 24/7. I had feared that this experiment would annoy people, that it would make me more work. But it turns out everyone I asked said it was a breath of fresh air. They liked calling, they liked leaving messages and not having to worry about texting back. And I like coming home to voicemails. I like picking up and hanging up the phone. When I say bye, I get to end the call with emotion and a physical feeling. Instead of the new reality I've gotten used to where you say goodbye, there's an awkward pause, and then the 1 hour and 30-minute takedown on the Beast games you were watching begins to play again. Personally, with a smartphone, I am way more likely to accidentally leave a text unanswered, to cancel or delay plans when I'm not feeling up to it. With the landline, though, I have to talk to people. When I'm feeling like I don't want to leave the house, hearing the voice of a friend excited to hang out washes that away, while a text about plans feels like work to me. I'm realizing that there are a bunch of small antisocial behaviors that I believed were becoming part of my personality, but is more so my relationship with a computer in my pocket that I'm addicted to. However, the landline isn't all fun calls from friends and family. There is an aspect to it that has been driving me fucking crazy
calls?
over the last 2 weeks. Spam calls. Spam calls and scammers are hitting my line more than anyone else. During business hours of the week, these assholes are calling me sometimes 30 to 40 times a day. But when the landline is your gateway to the outside world and social life, you have to get up and check who's calling when it's ringing. So hundreds of times over the last 2 weeks, I've jogged over to my landline just to see that it's spam.
Yeah, this is Eddie. How are you? Doing good?
Sorry, was your name Eddie or is my name?
My name is Eddie.
My name's Eddie as well.
No, your name is not Eddie.
It's not? I get a call again, and it's more spam.
You're paying high rates on your electricity bill, and
so
what we
annoying.
are doing is showing people a free, no-obligation consultation and demonstration with our solar program.
Yeah, I assume like
Devastating.
scammers are more likely to target a landline because it's most likely to be an old person who's like easily swindled, right?
Consequences for you.
This call is regarding your Medicare, as you already have Medicare Parts A and B both.
So why you're lying to me? Your name is Eddie.
Our records show you may owe over $10,000 in unpaid tax debt.
This could result in liens on your property.
Possibility for a hardship elimination.
Message deleted. Message deleted.
Unpaid tax debt. How are you?
Deleted.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
Message deleted. End of messages.
So yes, other than the spam calls, this has so far been a mostly peaceful growth experience for me. Getting rid of my phone has been the best thing I've done all year, blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about all the little ways that not having a phone has pissed me off.
Okay.
1, I can't use certain apps that require a mobile phone number. I got invited to a party and had to find out about it through someone else because I can't log into my Partyful. Partyful is the main way a lot of people I know send invites to parties now. And when you're throwing a party and someone ignores an invite, you're not going to call them and ask them if they got it. Of course they got it. They have a smartphone. So if I know you and I missed your birthday, Blame it on the safe, not me. 2. There are a few useful tools on the iPhone that don't involve the internet, like tool belts.
Some of you are similar to me. I've never fucking been invited to a party. Maybe one partiful in my life. Maybe I was like, damn, I guess I just don't know what the kids are doing nowadays. I'm not getting a lot of partiful invites. That's crazy. That's some LA shit. I mean, I'm in LA. I feel like I go to events decently enough. I hang out with people, but I don't get no partiful. I think partiful's like, you gotta be hip. You gotta be wanting to get, I don't know,
type tools. Yesterday, I was hanging frames on my wall and I couldn't use the level on my phone. Last week, the power went out and I realized just how much I had gotten used to having a flashlight on me at all times. 3. I miss having a camera on me always. I love recording a little video of a squirrel or grabbing a funny photo to text someone. I've had to make peace with the fact that sometimes I've just got to enjoy a sunset instead of snapping it and sharing. On one hand, sure, it gives me a nice moment to take in and appreciate what's in front of me. But on the other hand, I can't use it as a moment to connect with someone, so it's 50-50. 4. Some friends are texters, some are callers. Friends that are texters have not really called my landline. They may have died. 5. Weather app. No weather app unless check computer. Don't know how hot it is. 6. I'm using my computer way more often for sure. Sometimes I'll still waste time on it like I do my phone, but it feels much more manageable when I can walk away. And lastly, 7, I'm hearing, hold up. Sorry, I thought I heard my phone ringing. Everyone knows about the phantom vibration you occasionally feel in your pocket when your phone is sitting there. Yeah. That has disappeared for me. But I am now hearing phantom ringing in songs, in movies. Any similar tone has me perking my little ears up to check. But how does that all stack against crippling anxiety from social media and ruining my attention span? Well, like I said, I didn't have a level on me, so... One of the things I've enjoyed over the last few months is keeping up with current TV, mainly White Lotus, Severance, and a little bit of Formula One for all my Max Verstappen heads out there. And that part of my life was mostly unchanged, except I heard discourse about the shows through my friends' opinions and what they'd seen online. TV shows, politics, internet drama, basically everything that I'm algorithmically served are constantly placing people online into in-groups and out-groups. Like, if you disagree about a White Lotus episode in person, you're just hearing another perspective. But when a group of people have a different opinion on Twitter, it feels like large swaths of strangers are not like you over a micro diversion of an opinion about a show from Ned Schneebly.
Shut up! You both just cut it out for 1 second.
Even though I was aware of this, time in the real world and away from my phone had me connecting with people in a much more positive light. Again, still paying attention to the news, so not saying everything's fine. Far from it. But not getting mad at invisible strangers and bots 1,000 times a day had me feeling a way I didn't in a long time. And during my final week, Chrissy was out of town cat-sitting, which made me pretty unsure of how my final days alone would go. More recently, when I find myself alone in my apartment for an extended period of time, I've been increasingly frustrated with how much I use my phone, especially before bed. Sometimes internally screaming that I should put it down, but scrolling through TikTok for some reason. What's it gonna give me? But during this week, I got to do so much more regular chilling. Without my screen time, I watched more movies, read more books, exercise, cleaned, all shit that I normally do, but none of it was rushed because after work, I didn't waste a bunch of time on my phone. Also, speaking of chillin', I watched YouTube only on the TV for the last month and it ruled. Shout out to everyone who watches YouTube on the TV. I am thinking of you when I'm making videos. I appreciate you. If you're watching on something else, that's fine too. Also, shout out to laptop on a bed or laptop on a table. I can't hate on you for that. So I think it's safe to say that my attention span has been completely rewired over the month. But without the magic of texting, I was communicating with people way less. It was quiet by myself, and I couldn't mask it with a podcast or music to keep me company 24/7. So I needed to get out of the apartment.
Friday, 2:45 p.m.
Hey, little man. It's Katie. I'm calling to let you know that we're going bowling at 9 p.m. Be there. See you then, big dog.
This time when I took the bus, I did write down my directions just in case, but I've been retaining information for a full month without relying on my phone, so I just didn't look. I know where I'm going. And after arriving at the bowling alley, it was time to bowl. And
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay, just press the thing. Okay.
What followed was the greatest bowling I've ever seen. Strike after strike, nobody could be stopped.
Make you a better bowler.
They almost kicked us out because they thought we were like cheating or something. Something about magnets. But we were using the balls that were there. Honestly, I'm like freaked out with how good we did. That's got to be connected to my not having my phone or something in some way, right? I don't know.
It's Connor.
But after some pro level bowling, we decided to get some food.
I thought it was just gonna be like.
Yeah. Oh, you're doing okay. You're dancing. Yeah, keep going.
Whoa.
Can you do it again? I don't think you had it recorded.
Yeah, can you do more? That's just like not enough.
Like backflip?
Yeah.
Backflip.
Yeah.
No.
Suddenly, after some delicious food and a lot of drinks, it was 2 a.m. Everyone was nice enough to see me off at the bus stop, but I told them I was fine waiting alone. Then it was just me and Los Angeles at 2 in the morning.
Seems like a fun night, yeah? I think it'd be better with a phone, though.
With only one day left, I decided it was time to dust off an old aspect of my childhood and put it to the test as an adult.
Frozen?
When I was a kid, I saw the takeover of portable GPSs for driving. At first, they were purchasable on their own, then a feature on my rich friend's dad's car. What? You thought he was the breadwinner? Well, it was actually my friend's mom who bought the car. Sounds like it's time to look inward about what we assume, I think. But before the GPS eventually arrived in every pocket in America,
as you're going, we'll be monitoring the traffic. We'll give you your ETA.
Yeah, I mean, that's so sick.
If the traffic slows down in front of you, we'll update your ETA.
That's so sick.
And then we'll start looking to reroute you
That's
around
so
it to
incredible.
find a faster
That's
route.
that's
And if we do,
incredible.
we'll offer it to you.
there was a website that would plan your route to print so you could take it with you on your drive. That website was MapQuest.com. Tony and I were going to follow MapQuest to Huntington Gardens and enjoy my final day of silence while the flowers were in bloom. So I routed our trip, sent my PDF to Staples, walked over, and man, I really should have fucking bought a printer for this.
You ready?
Hold on.
You good?
Yeah. Oh, you can't use your. We're doing map.
How does it work in LA? Does
What do
it
you
not
mean?
to drive the traffic so
But you
bad?
just can't use it. I'm doing like a no phone thing.
But I want to listen to
Will you
music.
just fucking enjoy my company for once? The sound of my voice?
Sorry.
So just like traveling by bus, reading, prolonged silence, going to the movies, and taking landline calls, using MapQuest is way easier and less daunting than I thought. Dude, you just pay attention to the street signs and use your brain like 2% more.
Bullshit.
We messed up a little bit. So we were on Temple Street and we were supposed to get on Silver Lake Boulevard. Now it said a slight right, and here's the sign. It clearly says that if you go straight, you're on Silver Lake Boulevard. You take a left, you're on Temple Street. But we were kind of talking, and there was a further left, so we were like, that one looks like it's straight enough. So we went left on Temple, but we eventually found Glendale. So we thought we had the directions correct until it said to take a slight right on Fletcher, 0.3 miles from the turn.
Yeah, that's why
and
a
0.3
fucking
miles from the turn
digital
was
map
Echo
is so
Park Lake.
perfect 'cause it
and
shows
last
you
I checked,
exactly-
the ramp for the 2 is not submerged in Echo Park Lake. Now, if you drive in Los Angeles, you might be thinking, how'd you fuck that one up? This is like a very famous and commonly known spot for LA driving. Well, Tony and I were deep in discussion about the fact that in our Spy Kids video, we accidentally called Fooglies Flugel. So you can see now that it was pretty important.
That's two
but even then,
fuck-ups. I'm
it was
seeing
fine.
two fuck-ups.
There's street signs
The
for the
MapQuest
freeway,
take
so we just
and the
kept
Fugels
driving
take.
until we saw a sign for the 2. After that, it was smooth sailing. Overall, our mistake made us like 10 minutes late. You know, there have been a set of questions that I get from people asking about this whole thing that are mostly the same. How are you going to get around? What do you do if you miss a text? What if you get lost? But those questions also come with a set of similar statements. Oh, I bet you'll feel so much better. You'll have so much more time on your hands. I'm so jealous. And that's because at the start of this, I, along with you, probably knew where this would go to a degree. I'm not exposing a problem here that was hidden in the shadows. We all know it. We feel it every day. But those questions that kept me from doing it before didn't turn out to be that daunting. Sure, occasionally I did have to rely on someone else's phone for information or a text, but other than that, my life felt so normal. I think we're living in a time where our minds and our attention are such a currency, we need to start working out our brains like a muscle. And yes, that can be writing, reading, navigating, but I think you also need to build your own silence, your own peace. And that peace hurts the money of things keeping you on your phone. So the day will not come where Elon decides you need a break from Twitter for your mental health. There will not be a moment where people stop capitalizing on your anger, joy, sadness for their own profit. It's up to you to rip yourself back into reality as much as you can and take back what is rightfully yours. You. As for me, it was almost time to unlock the safe. I watched the countdown clock creep closer to 0, but instead of relief or confidence, I found myself filled with the same desperation for a solution that made me do this whole thing in the first place. What will my relationship with my phone be like after this? Will I lock it up every once in a while? Will I delete most of the apps and just use my computer when I need it? Will I lose everything I learned here and be stuck scrolling before bed again? After spending a portion of my youth in a cloud of buzzing noise, I had hoped to step outside of it, to turn around and be shocked at how much it had crept into every corridor of my brain. And that is exactly what happened. But I know that beyond a month-long experiment, it's unrealistic to go back to a world without the phone entirely. The thing is, I've known for years that the way I was beginning to use it was not good for me. I kept telling myself that I'd make a change, and until now, I never truly committed to that. So while I have no idea what my relationship to this thing will be in the future, I do know that it will not be the same as the past. It turns out the only way to stop using your phone too much is to just stop using it too much. It's like bird shit on your bathroom window. You know you should clean it at some point. But hey, it gives you something interesting to look at on the toilet, and you can hope the rain will wash it away or that a crow never dropped a gross load on your window in the first place. But if you really, truly want it to get clean, you're gonna have to roll up your sleeves and do it yourself.
Cinema. Interesting video. I don't know that I know what my main takeaway is or what I learned from that, but interesting video. I think for a regular person who's not going to do a YouTuber experiment, the one thing I'd say that has helped me personally is trying to get it out of the bed, especially at night. I feel like I've gotten so much better at falling asleep. Yeah, I can just zonk out like Insta.